Okay, this video is going to take us through logical operators and compound Boolean expressions. And so there are three logical operators. There is the double ampersand, A-M-P-E-R-S-A-N-D, ampersand. Ampersand is the double ampersand is the AND operator. And then you have these symbols, they're called pipe symbols, and they are above the enter key. So it's two pipe symbols, and that's the OR operator. And then you have the exclamation point, and that is the NOT, N-O-T operator. So AND, OR, NOT. Now using the AND and OR operators will allow you to combine two Boolean expressions into a single expression. So we have an example down here where you have, here's one Boolean expression, here's one, and here's one. But this is all part of one compound Boolean expression. So using AND or OR creates a compound Boolean expression. So that's going to be the term that we'll use. Compound, meaning we're going to combine two together. And you can actually combine more than that, more than two. So as you notice, a regular Boolean expression has two operands with a comparison operator in between. And so you're going to have two Boolean expressions in here, and you're going to have one of the logical operators in between. And so the question would be, well, what would be wrong with this? So if we went, if num1 was greater than 15, or less than, let's say, 10. Okay, so what would be wrong with that? And so you would see that it's got a Boolean expression here, but this is not a Boolean expression because it's missing the operand on the left side of the comparison operator. So you got to have one on both sides. All right, so that's how that goes. And then, so we're going to look first of all at the AND operator. In real life, let's say I ask my daughter, I go, I need you to wash the dishes and take out the trash, and I'll take you to Dairy Queen. So she washes the dishes, and she says she's ready to go. Well, do I take her to Dairy Queen? And the answer would be no. She didn't do both tasks. I used the word and. So because I said and, that would signify that she needs to do both. And then if we look at this kind of in a pseudo code, or kind of what's called a false code, we go if Kara does the dishes and Kara takes out the trash, then we're going to go to Dairy Queen. Otherwise, I would have to say, Kara, you need to do both tasks. And so that's basically what happens there. So let's go on to, whoops, boy, this is just acting all kinds of weirdness. So the bottom line is that both Boolean expressions must be true in order for an AND compound expression to be true. Probably should have said it. Well, that's okay. Just one false produces a false AND compound expression. So just one of those is false, just like she didn't take out the trash, so that makes the whole situation false. We're not going to Dairy Queen. So evaluate these, and then we'll take a look at it. So if you want to pause and then do them, and then come back and then check out the answer key. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So you have 12 is greater than y, which is true. And then you have x, 12 is greater than 4, which is true. So since they're both true, she did the dishes, she took out the trash, then the whole thing is true, and you get to go to Dairy Queen. Okay, in this one, 12 is equal to 12, so that's true. And then 5 is equal to 8 is not true, so this is false. And so she did the dishes but didn't do the trash, so the whole thing's false. You're not going to Dairy Queen. And then this one is 5 is less than 4, which is false. So actually at that point you could go, okay, well this is false, so there's no way that the whole thing could be true, because both have to be true. So you could actually stop right there and just say, okay, this thing is false. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on. And we go, here's an example, a Java example here. Is say the employer is going to give a bonus of 500 to 250, and the employees getting the bigger bonus have to fulfill 2 conditions. And so this is a prime opportunity for two Boolean expressions. So you have, if they're here 10 or more years, or if they've sold more than $20,000 worth of sales. So if it fulfills both, then, and that makes it true, then they get the larger bonus. Otherwise, they get the smaller bonus. Okay, then we go on and we look, and then we look at this OR operator. In real life, let's say I tell my daughter, if you wash the dishes or take out the trash, I will take you to Dairy Queen. So she washes the dishes, and then she says, I'm ready to go to Dairy Queen. Well, do I take her? And the answer is yes. And so, yes, I do take her to Dairy Queen because she did at least one of the tasks. Because I said you can do one or the other. That's essentially what that means. And so we move on. And so we move on. And so here's a kind of a pseudocode example. And then we move on to line 9. The bottom line is an OR compound expression is true as long as at least one of the Boolean expressions is true. Otherwise, it's false. So go ahead and calculate 10, those 3 problems, and then we'll take a look at the answers. Okay, on this one, or these ones, we will take a look. And so we have a false. And so actually at this point, well, we can got to keep going. So 12 is greater than 4, which is true. So false or true would mean that this would be true, because only one has to be true. She maybe didn't take out the trash, but she did the dishes. And that's all I said was do one or the other. In this one, we have a true. And then over on this side, this Boolean expression is a false. So this is the same kind of an idea. And actually, you could have stopped at true, because only one has to be true to make it true. So we actually didn't even have to look at this. Okay, on this one, y is not equal to, or 5 is not equal to 4. Well, that's true. And then 5 is greater than or equal to 4. Well, and actually at this time we could stop and say this is going to be true. We wouldn't even have to look at this. It doesn't really matter, because at least one is true. Let's move on to the next thing. And so here is an example of the bonus question, or the bonus code for Christmas bonus, and the change, it kind of changes things, because now all you have to do is fulfill one of the requirements and you'll get that bigger bonus. So there's going to be more people that will probably be able to get that bonus here. So that is the idea. One or the other, you get the bonus. And so let's go to our last operator, and that is the NOT operator. That is the opposite of the result of a Boolean expression. It's the opposite. So not true means false, and not false means true. So based on that, evaluate these three expressions, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, let's take a look at this one. And so 12 is less than 5 is false. And so not false means this whole thing is true. Here you have 5 is equal to 8, which is false. And so not false is true. This one here is you have 5 is less than 12, which is true. So actually at this point you would know that since at least one of these is true, this whole thing is true. So you actually could stop right there. And we would say that this compound Boolean expression is true because one of the Boolean expressions is true. So not true is false. Alright, that's how that goes. Let's take a look at the order of precedence and then we'll be done. So when and or are both involved, you do the and first. The and is what goes first. So try this out, and I'll show you how I would do this. So go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's take a look at this. And so 12 is less than. Now basically what happens here is you want to take care of these Boolean expression first. So 12 is less than 5, and that would be evaluated to be false. Or 12 is greater than 4, which that's true. And then 12 is equal to 12, that's true. And then you have my ampersands aren't good, but that's what we're going to have to do. And so now you got an or, and you got an and. And we said we do the and first. So what basically you go false or, and then you have a true and true. Now true and true means true. And now you do the or, so false or true, of course, is going to mean true because at least one of them is true. All right, so that's how that works. You'll be doing some homework tonight that will get to practice this a little bit. So that'll do it.